Welcome to The Spy Inside Your Mind, a look into the neuroscience of the white bear paradox, the illusion of control, and how to exit the war within. Walk with me through the storm of your own design. In 1863, Fyodor Dostoevsky presented a task: try not to think of a polar bear. He found the cursed thing would come to mind every minute. This showed that the harder we try to suppress a thought, the heavier the resistance, exposing a shadow over human willpower. In 1987, psychologist Daniel Wegner tested this curse. Volunteers were asked not to think of a white bear for 5 minutes, and the forbidden thought averaged more than once per minute. Wegner discovered that mental control involves two processes. The doer is the conscious operating process, while the spy is the unconscious monitoring process. The monitoring process, or the spy, has a mandatory job: to hold the concept of the forbidden bear in active readiness. It scans for the image, ensuring you are not thinking about it. The tragic irony is that, quote, the spy's entire job requires it to think continuously about the very thing you are trying to avoid. In calm conditions, the conscious mind suppresses the thought, but under stress or fatigue, the doer or operating process exhausts itself, leading to a breakdown. Neuroscience confirms that suppressing a word actually amplifies its meaning. The harder you push, the louder it gets. The battlefield is everywhere. In a 1998 study, novice golfers overshot more when warned, "Don't overshoot." If you order yourself to fall asleep, the monitor process scans for wakefulness, keeping you awake. If you try to stop being anxious, your monitor reports you are still anxious, tightening the emotional chest firmer. In your inner life, you may believe there's a prosecutor, the anxiety defendant, and a judge. Wegner's data proved there is no judge. The part telling you to stop being anxious and the part experiencing the anxiety are the same neural process. Fighting the mind makes it fight harder. The courtroom was always rigged. In 1978, psychologist Stephen Hayes was paralyzed by panic attacks. He used every technique to fight his distorted thoughts, but every weapon fed the spy. He eventually stopped fighting, and the panic dissolved. This led to acceptance and commitment therapy, which is based on the idea that the mind was never designed to win this civil war. 500 years before Wegner's lab, Indian traditions made the same structural distinction through inward observation. The root of suffering, as articulated by Adi Shankara, is confusing the doer with the witness. The doer acts, fights, and suppresses, but it can never defeat itself. The effort to control the mind is itself a movement of the mind. The instrument cannot operate on itself. Because the operating and monitoring processes are structurally linked, the internal war is unwinnable by design. More effort equals more monitoring, which equals more forbidden content. The Theravada Buddhist practice of vipassana, or insight meditation, relies on sustained, non-reactive observation. You simply watch the thought arise and pass without pushing it away. When you stop suppressing, the monitor has nothing to check for, and the ironic rebound collapses. The monks aren't better fighters. They simply leave the ring. The matrix of consciousness shows 3 roles. The doer fights and suppresses, is effortful, and creates the spy. The spy scans for failure and amplifies forbidden content. The witness observes without engagement, is unchanged, and dissolves the war. In 2010, Daniel Wegner, who proved the mind cannot control itself, was diagnosed with ALS, facing the systematic loss of control of his body. He hosted guests, wore Hawaiian shirts, and kept his humor. Before he died, he described the experience with one word: fascinating. He faced the ultimate loss of control from the seat of the witness, not the doer. Ramana Maharshi, an Indian sage, asked one question to anyone in pain: who is the one experiencing it? If you look for the sufferer, you only find thoughts, physical sensations, and stories. The awareness conducting the search cannot be found among the objects.